The moment that Arifureta Season 2 was announced, I have been beyond freaking excited to finally get my eyeballs on more Arifureta because it is one of my favorite anime of all time. I have rewatched the first season of Arifureta an obscene, disgusting amount of times, including the OVA episodes that were launched. I have watched the subtitle version a few times. I've watched the dubbed version a few times, and the dub's actually really, really enjoyable and really good. So if you never watched it, I definitely do recommend going back and just kind of watching the dub, even if you're passively maybe like on your Switch or just on your phone or something, just kind of watching it in the background. The dub is actually really, really good, and I highly recommend it. It's on Funimation if you want to watch it. So I've been basically leading up to this day for quite a while, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, the second season came back hitting in full entire force, and I think it was so freaking awesome. The one thing I want to note real quick before I start talking about the episode is the OP and the ED for the second season of Arifureta are fire, especially the OP. Like, the ED is like really calming and really cool and kind of like tells like this ambiance, but the OP is just so effing good. Like, it is absolute freaking fire. Like, I was just like, yeah, let's go. And the lady who sings the song, I was like, yes, let's go. I love when you have certain songs that are in the OP versus just like a jam, like just versus just like music, when there's somebody actually singing and it's good, like Demon Slayer or like Sword Art Online. Like, the singer of those openings are just freaking, like, she's awesome, and the person who sings this one is just absolute awesome. And as well as the background that plays during the OP is really telling of what we can expect kind of going into the season. And I mean, it looks absolutely crazy. So now kind of transitioning into the episode, now that you guys know that I was completely in love with episode number 1 of season 2, the episode starts off really strong, and it starts us off with, I think, basically where the show's going to build up to this season, which is kind of like the final battle between Hajime and the goddess, which is just so amazing and kind of like so telling of what everything's going to end up being built up to. Because the main thing that Hajime said in season 1 was that he didn't care about the gods. His main goal is to get him and his girls back to his world. But we know when he was taking one of the high tier magic, one of the god tier magic from the creators before him, the girl that the girl, like the mecha suit that he had to fight, whatever, I forget what her name was specifically, but the little girl there told him that, like, well, when he was leaving, she may have not said this to him directly, but as she was flushing him down the ethereal toilet, she said, you may not want to fight them, but you're going to. It's in your destiny, kind of thing. So that's exactly what he's living up to here. Is he's living up to that destiny. So when it started, I was like, ooh, let's go, boy, let's go. So I was definitely excited. And the thing that was telling about that specific scene as well is that his girls weren't there. So Yue wasn't there, Shia wasn't there, Tio wasn't there, or Tio wasn't there. So it's like, where were they at specifically during that scene? So regardless of that, as soon as that kind of like introduction area scene ends, then we immediately get into the actual episode. And I was very pleased that it just kind of continued where we left off last time, which is where Kaori was kind of like joining the party of her own volition, and competing with Yue for Hajime's love. And we immediately get introduced to them kind of making their way over to like the next kingdom, as Hajime's trying to go and take on the next dungeon to try, because he has to take on, I think it's like the 4 dungeons he has to take on, but they're one of them that he has to come back because he needs all the different magic before he can enter like the last dungeon kind of thing. So he was heading it there. And we immediately get put right back into the shoes of where we were before, with Yui and with Kaori kind of like fighting back and forth for Hajime's love, which I love to see. It's definitely so enjoyable. Like, picking in the anime, picking whose best girl is hard, because you have Yui. I think I'm kind of a Kaori stan. I love Kaori quite a bit, but you have Yui, Kaori, Shia, Tio, and depending on what your flavor of, no judgment zone, but depending on what your flavor is, you also have Miu, and then extension of, depending on what kind of person you are, you might like the teacher, Aiko, or you might like Kiori's friend, which was 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥, I think her name was. So I mean, it just depends. So there's a lot of best girls here. So you definitely have like a lot of options, but we definitely get put back into the shoes of them competing, and then Yui basically dominating over Kaori, saying what she does in bed with Hajime, and that was all definitely interesting. Then they come and they find this priest dude who's laying in the middle of the desert. They revive him, and then they immediately get their new mission, which is to go to the next town or city or nation, whatever, called Ajaki, something like that, which is essentially the birthplace of 𝐜𝐴, which is essentially like a town or whatever, based around like oceanicness or water, essentially. And apparently at some point the waters there were poisoned, so everybody has this thing called mana overload, which is what infected this guy here, which they rescued. And because 𝐜𝐴 asked Hajime, he's a big pushover when it comes to 𝐜𝐴, they're going to go and set up on this adventure, which involves them going to the volcano. Then we get the flip side of it. We get the duality of, what Hajime is going to be facing, which is the demons. And the demons I find very, very interesting because they're actually very relatable. And it seems like they have a goal. It seems like their god, whoever their god is, right? Whoever this god is, which I don't think is the angel lady that Hajime is facing. It might be. But whoever their god is, gave this man, this top dude, a mission to go and, I don't know, do something, right? And Hajime has really foiled his plans with taking on all those 60,000 demons that he has, taking on the girl that he faced in the dungeon when he saved Kaori and the other group, Kaori, 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐽𝐩𝐿, and the other group and stuff, and 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐽𝐡 as well. So when he saved them, those two events, he definitely foiled whatever their plan was. And that girl, when he killed her, she's like, oh, my boyfriend's going to come after you, which I don't know if it's the red-haired dude that we saw in this episode or the blonde-haired dude, but one of those two was definitely, I think it was a blonde guy, was definitely her man's. And now the top-ranked dude is going to go to the volcano, which is where they're heading to go and get some kind of mineral to go save this town. So he's going to have a face-off with the demons. Now, what I'm wondering is Hajime doesn't really care about good versus evil. He has one goal in mind. His main thing is, don't F with my goal. I don't care who you are. You could be my friend, my enemy, whatever. Like, don't F with my goal. So I'm wondering if he'll have some kind of deal or something, or if, like, they might meet, and then he might just say, like, yo, F with me, you're gonna die. I don't really care what you do. You know what I mean? I wonder if there's going to be that moment. And if there is that moment, I wonder if somebody in the party, whether it's Yui or Shia or Tio or, whoever, like, I wonder if they will be like, no, you have to kill the demons or something of that nature. You know what I mean? Like, I just wonder what's going to end up kind of like coming to fruition from all that. But the one thing I will say is the demons don't seem inherently evil, but it does seem like they have like a big driving goal and a driving force moving forward. And that, again, that kind of puts up to what we can expect as we move to the rest of the season, which is going to be fire. But I love this episode. Like, I love the characters. I love, like I said, I'm a big Kaori stan. But I mean, all of them are awesome, right? I love Yui. I like Hajime as a character with, he was a scrawny dude who's now, as Kaori described him, a anime character, which I think was really funny. All the girls are awesome. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, I love the characters. I love the character development. I love the plot. Even if the plot might be a little thin on sometimes, like, it's just so freaking enjoyable, and I'm just so happy it's back. Let me know if you guys are excited and are as in when it comes to episode number 1 as I am, but I'm going to leave you guys here. I'm going to go rewatch it one more time. I'll probably watch it a couple of more times, just to really absorb everything that episode 1 had to offer. And with that being said, I will see you guys next week for episode number 2 of Arifureta, baby. Or should I call him the Irregular? Peace out, guys.